Right, today what we're going to be doing is taking the client as white as we possibly can. So this is your before. She's going to be having a trim as well. And I'll go through the process of mixing up bleach too. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, I'll be using the blowdry bleach. I've got my weighing scales here. When colouring the hair, I need to make sure that I'm colouring the mid-lengths and ends first. So I'm going to put about 30 in of that, and I'm going to double it with my peroxide. My peroxide, I've just got 9%, okay? So we just go up to 90, it's a little bit less, but that's fine. And I'm going to apply this to the client's head, just on the mid-lengths and ends first of all. Okay, so we're going to apply the bleach over the head. As we can see, the back bit, it's quite salt and pepper here. Now, even though she does look kind of white on top, we still need to bleach it because the dark strands are actually at a level, 5 or 6. So they're the ones that we really need to get lighter. So we're going to do the bleach all over. If we apply the bleach, we are not putting it straight on the root. We're going to leave an inch gap on every single strand. So just applying it an inch away from the roots all the way through. So you're just lifting it up and applying to the mid-lengths and ends only. So do that on the whole head. Right, as you can see, I've just started to apply it as the hot cross bun method, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through each section and apply it to the mid-lengths and ends, starting at the back first because that is where it is the darkest. Right, okay, so I've just completed the full head, and this is just the mid-lengths and ends only. So just to remind you, we only ever do this, we always do it when we've got to dye all the hair because the roots will lift up quicker than everywhere else. So we want the ends to lift up now. I reckon this will take about 30 to 40 minutes to lift up, and then we will go back in and do the roots. Okay, fast forward half an hour. This is the lifting that's happened on the ends, which is looking quite good. So what we're going to do, I've just mixed up another bowl of bleach, just bleach with 6% there. I've gone down because we're going to apply this to the root area. So everywhere that isn't applied to, you are now going to apply to. So you can do your hot cross bun section and then work in your triangle sections all the way round. Any area that does need to be retouched, you can touch it up with this as well. So we're just going to do the whole head now, just on the roots, lifting up and just doing the roots only, not the mid-lengths and ends. Okay, I've just applied all the roots, and I just went over a bit of the back again with the same product just to try and lift that dark area up a bit more. So I'm going to leave this on now for about 30 minutes for the roots to lift up now. After that we can wash it off and apply the toner.
It's getting cold.
Okay, it's been about 30 minutes now. I'm just looking at the hair, we can see that it looks like the inside of a banana from root to tip. So we're ready to wash off and apply the toner. Right, so I'm going to mix these two together. I'm going to do about 10 grams of each mixed with 3%, and I might even put a little bit of clear in just so it takes a little bit longer to tone. Okay, I've just done a shampoo on my client's hair, and as you can see, this is the end result. It is wet, so it is going to look slightly yellow, but you don't want it too yellow. So now my mixture is just going to be put on all over the head, and it's a visual thing, so we're going to watch it change. Okay, so we've got the toner on now. As you can see, you might think it needs to come off, but when we scrape the hair, we can see it's still kind of changing. So we will remove it shortly, but we just want to make sure that the toner has gone that nice white colour and not still needed to stay on a bit longer. Okay, as you can see, this is the end result of the toner. It's got a slight purple tinge to it, but that will dry whiter. We did 2 shampoos and a conditioner. Now we're going to cut it. So we're going to go for a pixie look now. So it's going to be quite short around the front area, keeping it over the ears, but leaving a little bit down here to make it that little bit more feminine. So she does want it quite short, but we're not going to take it too short like a summer cut because it is getting a bit colder now. So I'm just going to follow the guideline from the bottom and take it in kind of a slight angle, so it starts off shorter, gradually gets a little bit longer, but not much in it. Just going to cross check that. Cross check it by pulling it horizontal. Combing it behind the ears and getting it nice and close. Sometimes it's easier to do this when it's dry because the hair just sticks to the skin around the ear area. So I'm just going to work in vertical panels around the head, just taking a little bit of the length off with a slight angle. The bottom here is quite short, so we don't want to take too much off, otherwise it might just be easier just to shave it, which we don't need to do just yet. And I'll continue that round to the other side, so we've got a mirror image. So just pulling it all out, keeping it close around the ears. Is that for me? Just combing it onto the skin. like so, and then we're just going to double check the balance, left and right, making sure it's okay, cross check it horizontally, until the kind of section underneath the top bit, I call that the halo, is even. So now we're going to take it a bit shorter on top, so I'm just going to take this crown a little bit shorter, not too short. Following the guideline from the bottom. And just move forward with my sections now. I'm going to start to point cut this, just so it's not so blocky. Gives it a little bit more texture. It's quite long on top, so she does want quite a bit cut off. And I'm blending it in with the sides as well. So I've got my guideline at the back here. Keep pulling it up to the sky and then point cutting it. Okay, so we can leave it long if the client wants it long, but we want to go that way. No, this way. And we want to take this short, gradually getting longer, or do you want it all short?
No, gradually getting longer.
Right, so short, gradually getting longer. So you've got your line at the front here. I'm going to bring this around a bit. You've got your line here, which I'm just going to follow round. At an angle, so it's longer this side. At the front only. So it just gives it a bit more of a feature. Obviously you don't want it as a blunt cut there, so you can kind of point cut coming forward this angle, or use your thinning scissors so it's not so much of a basin look. So I'm just going to texturize it all over now. So she's got a bit of movement in there. And then just balance check. Make sure it's okay before moving on. Right, so we're going to give it a little bit of a dry. Right, so I'm just going to use some volume mousse on my client's hair and just kind of finger dry it into the look. Right, so I've given it a nice blast all over. I'm just going to double check the haircut before I start putting in some products, but you can basically see the colour as we go around. It is white, the white blonde. Definitely a change from what it started off at. There we go. So I'm just going to chip into it a little bit, make it nice, and then put some products to finish. Right, okay, so I finished it off with hairspray. And this is the end result.